welcome to episode 3 of the Johnny McCrary Show. I am Ben Weinrib.
And I'm Amanda Marcatulio.
And we are so glad you're here. In this episode, we are going to go over a great third win of the season for the Commodores against Old Dominion before moving on to Florida, and then our basketball preview with the season about to heat up. Then we're going to bring back 2 of our favorite segments, To the Whiteboard and Odds Makers, before moving on to our second ever installment of Austin Carter Samuel's Tweet of the Week. And then we're going to close the show with some of our favorite NFL receivers, J-Matt. Now, as we alluded to earlier, Vanderbilt picked up their third win of the season. It was a nice big win, and there was definitely, one star of the show, at least from what I saw.
I don't know about that. I think we have to give credit to a couple of the other players, too. As much as we love Johnny McCrary, we saw a lot of good things from a lot of different players today that we haven't seen so much in the past, but really well-rounded overall team effort for this game, I think. Yeah,
well-rounded. The most rounded part, of course, being Johnny McCrary, who tied a school record with 5 touchdowns passing. He was just amazing. Although the sad part about watching this game was at the end of the first half, McCrary had 3 passing touchdowns, and something flashed along the Jumbotron, the ESPN broadcast, saying Johnny McCrary's 3 passing touchdowns in a single game is the first time that's been done since 2008. So Jordan Rogers, Austin Carter Samuels, Patton Robinette, Larry Smith, nobody got 3 passing touchdowns in one game. But as much as that says a lot about the past quarterbacks, we've really got ourselves, a potential Heisman candidate here, don't you think? But in all seriousness, McCrary was excellent. He connected with 4 tight ends for touchdowns, which has really been something that we've seen a lot lately. Mason said he wanted to make this a tight end school, something that's not really common in the SEC, but we're really seeing that pick up lately.
That's right. We had, like you said, participants from all over across the board. We had, Nathan Marcus, Stephen Shue, David. Oh wow. No, but really we had everyone was really pitching in this game. McCrary obviously setting the record was awesome, and also Ralph Webb too with the running game. Want to see that again, even though obviously we wanted most was to get a good quarterback going for this game, but. Good to see Ralph Webb, too.
Yeah, in the Missouri game we saw he really got stuffed up. They stuffed the box and didn't let him run much, but now he picked up just about 5 yards a carry. Dallas Rivers had another really good game. And, this is a team all of a sudden that looks like it can put up some points, whereas maybe in the past it looked like if they were going to beat a SEC team like, say, Florida, it would have to be in sort of a 17-14, just clawing it out. But maybe they can put up a 30 spot on Florida.
Yeah, this is good news going into the Florida game. We would love to have a win for that game, obviously. And if we keep going at this rate, McCrary playing the way he's been playing, seeing good things, getting everyone involved, it's good momentum going into next week, I think.
Yeah, so Florida is coming into town now. It's going to be something Vanderbilt really has to take advantage of. Florida's a team that's coming off a huge win against Georgia. They really blew them out. Funny thing was they picked up over 400 yards on the ground but only attempted 6 passes all game. Freshman Trayon Harris got the start again, but they really just pounded the ball against Georgia, and that's probably something that you can expect against Vanderbilt. Then again, Florida has not really been great all season. We saw probably one of the worst SEC games in a while in a 10-9 win over Tennessee, where it looks like neither team really wanted to win or even deserved to win. So we're hoping here to see that Florida in addition to seeing good Johnny McCrary and the Vanderbilt offense.
That's right. Keep up this momentum. Who knows what we'll see out of Florida on Saturday. But if we can keep going what we've had going, actually getting touchdowns, want to put up some points against Florida. But I guess it's good to have McCrary, though, to have this consistency, because really the problem at the beginning was, who are we going to have in as our quarterback? And with McCrary doing so well, this is good news for the rest of the season. Even though we don't have too many games left, we would love to see at least 1 or 2 more wins for the rest of the season, which we weren't sure was going to happen at first.
Yeah.
But now.
Bowl game, still not technically eliminated. We got
right.
Tennessee to close the year. Yeah, there's that number 1 team in the nation thrown in there. However, we're sandwiched between Alabama, the best team in the last 4 years, and Ole Miss, their bitter rivals. So that sounds like a trap game to me there. So want to keep those bowl hopes alive. But I guess as I know you remember, last year Vanderbilt went into the Swamp, doubled up on Florida, 34-17, dominated both sides of the line. And if they can get any sort of push like they did last year, we could be seeing good things here. Obviously, it's going to be a very Florida-heavy crowd again this week as they're bringing up hundreds and thousands of people. I know personally we're going to see about 300 people come by that I know of, but it's going to be a blue crowd, but hopefully a pretty black and gold field.
Let's hope, our fans stay hyped from this past game, and would be great to see people out in the crowd. We don't want to be too dominated by the Florida fans, because that wouldn't be good. But if we can get the students to come out, going off this momentum, like I said before from last week, I think we'd have a chance.
Yeah, obviously the crowd, it was really cold last week, and it's going to be cold again this week, but you'd think more people would show up if it's Florida versus an Old Dominion. So I'm hoping to see that student section be greater than about the 300 people who showed up last week.
Yes, I agree.
Now, speaking of teams that might have trouble winning this year, our basketball season's kicking off again. This is another interesting year. It's another rebuilding year, but it's going to be, I think, still a pretty interesting team. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, we'll see this year. I mean, really young team. We got to see how that goes. We lost a bunch of four of our 5 best players, so not super high expectations for the basketball team this year, but we might have some, some surprises, which would be great.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they lost a ton of talent. Kyle Fullard, Rod Odom graduated. Eric McClellan was kicked off the team. Dejon Parker was kicked off the team. Keidron Johnson was not brought back to the team. He didn't play last year, so that's really a 5th player that they really lost. But what's exciting is they have these 5 freshman guards, and all of them bring a little different thing. We have Shelton Mitchell, who's the highest recruited guy. He was actually higher ranked than Damian Jones was coming into college. He's a point guard. Matthew Fisher-Davis. Oh, by the way, both those guys are from Charlotte, North Carolina. Great, great city. Fisher-Davis went to Charlotte Christian, same school as Steph Curry. Seth Curry. He's dating the last Curry. That's some good vibes I can feel from that guy.
Yeah, I mean, really the big thing is we just got to see who's going to step up next to Damian Jones, I think, and who are these young players are really going to make a statement coming into this. I mean, they have opportunity to come in and do great things as freshmen, which you don't always see. So
yeah,
we'll see.
In the past 2 years, we've seen different freshmen step up at different times.
Right.
Obviously, Damian Jones stepped up. Luke Cornett got a lot of playing time. Hopefully, he can shoot a little better this year. But even 2 years ago, we saw Kevin Bright immediately stepped up and started to play Sheldon Jeter a little bit. And because those two and A.J. Astroth transferred, is why this team's so shallow on talent and only have 1 returning scholarship guard in Carter Josephs. But he wasn't even a scholarship guard until this past August when they gave him a scholarship. But yeah, great story though.
Yeah. Really great story. Good for him. And we would like to see, him step up and make plays this year again, like he was doing last year. But really, you just got to, I think, figure out the guard situation, obviously, with the freshmen, and hopefully have a better season than we're anticipating. But
yeah,
first game's tonight, so we'll see.
It's really just a race for who can be the second best male team behind baseball. I really hope that doesn't turn into much of a debate later in the year. But, well, maybe, I don't know. If Vanderbilt football wins their last 3 games and wins a bowl game, that's about as good of a season as I think we'll get.
That's true. That's the most we could hope for, so.
Right. All right, well, let's send it over to the whiteboard now.
Thanks, guys. My name is Max Hers, and this is this week's segment of To the Whiteboard. Today, we're going to look at a play that didn't show up on the score sheet as a scoring play or a touchdown for Vandy, but led Vandy to a touchdown on a crucial 3rd down conversion near midfield in an early tie game, and showed how far this offense has come under the leadership of Johnny McCrary. So here's the situation. It's 3rd down and 4. Vanderbilt's on their own 42-yard line. We're less than 5 minutes into the second quarter of a 7-7 football game. Vandy, facing a 3rd and short, lines up with 3 receivers. C.J. Duncan, split all the way left. 1 receiver in the slot, another receiver split on the far right. 1 tight end, and quarterback Johnny McCrary in the pistol formation with a deep back behind him. Old Dominion lines up in a traditional 4-3 on the 3rd and short. So the ball is snapped, McCrary gets the ball, looks to pass, and Old Dominion brings a 4-man rush. They go zone in the linebackers, safeties, and cornerbacks as the receivers head out on their routes. These two receivers are quickly eliminated from the play with tight coverage. C.J. Duncan heads down the left side, then cuts back towards the middle, trying to come across the field and giving McCrary another option to pick up the first down. As the pressure comes, McCrary has no options, with 8 men back in coverage, as this defensive end picks up the running back who comes out of the backfield on what becomes a man zone play. So, McCrary has the ball, looking for options, pressure coming now from only 3 men, his offensive lineman being pushed back into him. Johnny McCrary shows great maturity on this play to not force a bad throw into coverage and traffic like he did in the first game of the year against Temple, which led to interceptions. He holds on to the ball and lets his receivers make a play for him, get open, to ensure that Vandy can get the first down and not turn the ball over. McCrary steps up, right up towards the line of scrimmage. Just as he does so, C.J. Duncan heads back towards the play. On a broken play like this, it's up to the receivers to come back to the quarterback, leave their routes, and get open so that a first down can be achieved.
Look at that too.
McCrary throws the ball, completes it to Duncan. It's a 16-yard gain for a first down for Vandy on what ultimately would be a touchdown drive for the Commodores. So, very mature play from Johnny McCrary, and it's clear based on the actions of C.J. Duncan on this play that the wide receivers are very comfortable with Johnny McCrary's game and know what he'll be doing in short yardage situations like this when he scrambles in the pocket. It's also a monumental play for C.J. Duncan in that he's expanding his personal gain as the season progresses and he gets more experience at the college level. We've seen a lot of C.J. Duncan along the outsides this season and doing well in one-on-one coverage out there. But if he wants to become an elite receiver, he's going to have to play in between the hash marks and find soft spots in zone coverages like he did on this play in order to make a big catch for a first down. So great job by C.J. Duncan to work in the middle of the field. This is a clutch third down conversion in a game where Vanderbilt converted a higher percent of its third downs than in any other game this season. Vandy was also 4 for 4 on fourth down conversion attempts in this game. On a good passing play like this, the run game is opened up on future offensive drives. This drive ended with 3 consecutive runs by Ralph Webb, including a 7-yard touchdown run to give Vandy a 14-7 lead that they would hold for the rest of the game. This has been this week's To the Whiteboard. I'm Max Hers. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, and welcome back. Now at the desk we have Allison Mass, and we're going to send it over to our newest member of the Johnny McCrary Show.
Hey guys, welcome to Odds Makers. We have 3 questions for Ben and Allison. First up, what are the chances Damian Jones would start for either of Kentucky's teams?
All right, so as always, Kentucky is absurdly talented this year, and what Coach John Calipari is going to end up doing is instead of having a rotation of normal players, he's going to have 2 5-man units that he's just going to swap in and out. And not only are they ridiculously talented, they're ridiculously talented among big men. They're returning Willie Cauley-Stein. They're returning Dakari Johnson, Marcus Lee. They also have the number 5 recruit in the nation, Karl Anthony Towns, and Trey Lyles, the number 13 recruit. And they have another big man from right near Nashville, Alex Poitras. So there's a lot of big men there. Personally, I think if you just drop Damian Jones on this team, I think he gets the edge over Marcus Lee and Alex Poitras because you can play him at the 3, which leaves you with Willie Cauley-Stein, Karl Anthony Towns. You know what? I think it's just 60%. I'll leave it at that. I think he proved himself that he can play in the SEC, and Marcus Lee didn't get to play a lot. Dakari Johnson didn't get to play a lot. So he's a guy at least you know can make an impact.
I'm really confident in Damian Jones, so I'm going to say 80%, and here's why. Damian Jones was someone who, when he came to Vanderbilt, people kind of thought he was crazy. I was kind of eavesdropping in the press box last year, and people were kind of saying, like, what the heck, he's from Baton Rouge, he could have played at LSU or another SEC school with a good basketball team, so he is very talented. And he did impress his freshman year. And also, I think you have to consider the GPA boost. You know, I think that Kentucky would probably love his high GPA on their team, give them a little cushion in that area. So I don't think he would necessarily play on their first team, but I think he'd have a solid spot on their second team.
Okay, I'm going to agree with Allison. I have confidence in Damian Jones. Next question, what are the chances you would do it? Ben, explain.
All right, so for the uninformed, good friend of the show, former Commodore great Kyle Fuller, is writing this lovely book, and he had this one story where he ends up going to a Lipscomb party full of, walks in, we've got a Confederate flag on the right, a picture of Django chained up straight ahead, and a guy in a Klan outfit saying white power on the left. Ends up getting in a fight, heads home, and a girl texts him, hey, I'm sorry about my boyfriend. I don't want you to be lonely tonight. So Allison, what would you do to that text?
There's a 0% chance that I would do it, whatever that means. The question that Kyle Fuller has posed to all of us, really. There's a 0% chance. I mean, if you find yourself in this situation, we're at this party, and you don't like the people there, they're not treating you well, just leave. That's that. Go home. Do some reading. I don't know.
So 0?
0. Confident 0.
See, my usual rule of thumb here is when you got a nice poster of Django chained up, not my type of party. That's a usual rule of thumb.
Okay.
But in honor of Kyle Fuller, I'll put this at 11%.
Because he's number 11.
Because he's number 11.
Just clarifying, okay.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to agree with Allison again. Pretty good life advice there. Next question, what are the chances Penn State does not make a bowl?
All right, so Penn State is currently 4-4, although they've lost their last 4 games remaining on their schedule. They've got Illinois, they've got number 8 Michigan State, they've got the great Temple Owls, and then...
Fight Temple.
Huh?
I said fight Temple.
Yeah. and Indiana too. Of course, deep down, I want to say this is definitely no. I'm going to go ahead and say Michigan State's a loss, and clearly Temple's a loss too. But Indiana is not very good, and neither is Illinois. But I think if you add all those chances together, the chance of losing to both, or the chances of them math, I'll put this at 40%.
Okay, I'm going to say, maybe it's just because I don't want them to go to a bowl game, I'm going to say 55% chance, just because also they don't have momentum on their side at all right now, clearly, and you know what? Temple is not that terrible, so...
They beat
Temple,
ECU.
I don't know what that means. To me,
They
that's
beat
just
Eastern
a school.
Carolina University.
I know what that is, yeah. Well, okay, the great Mike Trout committed to ECU before he entered the MLB draft, or before he signed with the Angels. So, I'm going to say 55% chance that they will not. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to agree with Ben, 40%. But Allison takes the win in this round of odd makers. Back to you guys.
It's been quite some time since I lost a game.
That was a poor debut, I think. It could be better next time. Better judge talent.
You know what could be better? Austin Carter-Samuel's tweet of the week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this segment is dear to my heart. He is my spirit animal. I wish I could beat him. So, because it's Thursday, we're going to throw it back this week and do a little bit of an older ACS tweet. But this one was just a really significant life moment for him. So, it reads, Arena League San Jose SaberCats just called to sign me as a QB. Proudly hit him with a, no thanks, I'm a coach.
I wonder why he didn't tweet that from his coach account.
I think it was before the coach account existed.
He should have. That's the moment he should have created his coach account.
That's true.
I
That would
think.
have been a great debut for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a nice website called like firsttweet.com or something. It'll tell you what your first tweet is. Mine was something about Carlos Zambrano hitting a Gatorade cooler. The fun ones are, if you look at the AAC Twitter account, it says, we're excited for the Big East to be welcome to Twitter, because they kept the same account when they switched conference names.
That's awkward.
Yeah. You know what else is awkward? Having to guard your own teammate in
Yeah.
college. We saw a nice moment in the NFL this past weekend when Jordan Matthews caught a touchdown pass. But who was he against? Former Commodore great Andre Howe. Oh, he burned him. That's got to hurt.
I'm sure that happened a lot in practice, though. You got to think.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, after every catch that J-Matt makes, he always runs, makes a beeline to the end zone, even if it's like a 2-yard out and is tackled on his own 12. Just runs all the way for a touchdown. So probably used to that too.
Yeah.
All right, well that'll do it for us here at VU Sports. Ooh, for the Johnny McCrary Show. For all of you, you have a great rest.